Today I'm going to focus on explaining why I hate this guy, Trump. Chump, I'll call him. Um, Gives these weird faces while he's destroying our country. So let me explain why I don't like this guy. Alright, so next thing is recession. So, recession is, being said that it's not going to happen. And this was August 19th, I believe. No, we're not having a recession, Trump says. Well, obviously there's a lot of proof that he's a liar. Maybe I can put that in another part. But yeah, he's saying that there's no recession. And let's see here. Yeah, this is on Fox News. The Mrs. Recession Warriors, it's the best. It's the best ever seen, ever. So, here's Sean Hannity media, stating that the Democrats want to see it does suffer. Um, it's not the Democrats, although, yeah, Democrats are predicting it, but so this is the economists and other personnel that's showing this. I mean, here on Political, um, now if it's not blamed on the Democrats, it's blamed on the news media or fake media. Um, so it's trying to say that now it's changing rhetoric. But I put a lot of links below, and you can see, for yourself in these sites here. Fake news, he says, media is doing everything they can to crash the economy because they think blah blah blah. So you got a lot of stuff like that. Let's see here. So I think this picture shows exactly what's happening here. How the global economy is slipping into a recession. You can check the link here too. It's just all these trade battles and such, and it's just it's going to be a contributor, the trade battles for the recession, and um, and then right here, what I want to say here, yeah, just here's details of how the trade war is causing this U.S. economy to be fragile. Um, all right, so here's New York Times, one of the main enemies of the people, um, as Trump would say. So trade war is a contributor, like I said. Economists are, they're seeing that it's going to happen. A bunch of companies seeing that it's going to happen. My company sees it's going to happen. Uh, so right over here on this New York Times is showing, the signs of all the yield curve and such and things like that that's showing, hey, the recessions is going to happen soon. So I'm thinking it's going to happen right after elections, whatever is holding up the economy um, right now. After elections, that's it. It's gonna show. You know, I mean, Trump's taking credit for, right? He comes in and he's like getting credit for Obama's stuff. Um, it takes 4 years of what you've done to really show what's going to happen afterwards. So it takes quite a bit of time. So what he's doing now with his fantastic tax cuts, um, we're going to see the impact of that, and the tax cuts that President Bush did, and not to mention corporate welfare and all that stuff. You're going to see the tax cuts doing a real number, and the debt. All those three things, you're going to see a real number being done on the recession. Um, all right, here's another site that says tax cuts and trade wars are going to really boost that recession to come through. And not to mention the 1 trillion budget deficit looming. At least this recession is not going to be as bad as Bush's recession. Um, Unless we go into war with Iran, which who knows is probably might Might not. I don't know. All right, the Young Turks, really good news source.
I don't think we're having a recession. We're doing tremendously well. Our consumers are rich. I gave a tremendous tax cut, and they're loaded up with money.
Well, the Trump administration is publicly claiming that the economy is doing really well and there's nothing to worry about. There's no recession in sight. Privately, it seems like they're panicking and they're thinking of ways to either mitigate an economic collapse or help stimulate the economy if that economic collapse happens. Now, and this time they're focusing on cutting the payroll tax, which funds Social Security and Medicare. So I'm going to give you the details on that. But before I do so, here is Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, admitting that there is a focus on cutting taxes further.
Tax cuts 2.0. We're looking at all that. By the way, Senator Rick Scott of Florida, a very smart guy, made an interesting.
If they believed in that. No, they gave all the money to their donors first. That was the $2 trillion tax cuts that just largely went to corporations and the rich, okay? The reason you do the payroll tax cut and give it to employees for a change is because that's what actually stimulates the economy. And they know that. So every time they say, oh no.
So basically, you know, this proposal of the payroll tax, is, I believe is not implemented yet. Let's just talk about. But I predicted that the minute he got elected that it was going to happen because, you know, tax cuts and everything. It's a usual routine. We saw it with Bush. We saw the damage. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of a damage. It's just going to be a regular recession. Still not good, though. But if we go to a war with Iran or so, which, you know, that's probably my next topic later on, that would make it even worse. He would definitely be the worst president than Bush. But as it stands, he's just a really bad president, which might have future bad impacts, as bad as Bush. I'm not sure. Alright, next thing I want to talk about is the debt. I think this phrase is pretty well what we're going to see.
When senior officials offered Trump charts and graphics laying out the numbers and showing a hockey stick spike in the national debt in the not-too-distant future, he responded, "Yeah, but I won't be here," according to a source who was in the room when he made that comment. So they're trying to drill into his head, you moron, your policies are going to raise the national debt, which you and conservatives always say you're against. And he's like, yeah, I eat a fillet of fish every night in bed. I'm out of here in 2 to 8 years.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I could see that. And, you know, we got 22 trillion in debt. Majority of that debt is probably caused by Obama. But let's not forget that Bush really screwed our country really bad. And Obama is not perfect. He is corrupt in some way. Bailouts and all that such. So you got these two factors. Bush is the main factor. Obama trying to clean up the mess. Plus, you know, with the tax cuts and the endless war, and, you know, all this is contribute to him creating such a debt. And now we have, it's pretty bad. And this is Trump in a non-recession time. So, you know, and like I said, all this information you can check below. So over here, pretty much explains his attitude and his approach to the debt. I don't want to get too much in detail with this part. There will be soon, but not now. So, tax cuts not helping us. So yeah, it's 4.78 right now. Judging by, it's pretty much on the same route as what Obama did. But here's the difference: he's gotten a recession, and he's got thrown in some tax cuts, and anyway. Example of it, Forbes showing, you know, Trump's deficit to hit 1 trillion in a good economy. In a good economy, that's not good. Um, Next thing you're gonna probably hear is gonna try to slash Social Security and all that stuff. I wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be surprised. The guy is unethical. Um, and we'll just give you a good read through all this, and you'll see it's you know the debt that he's creating shouldn't be that kind of debt. He says he's gonna fix this 8 years, finish off the debt, but he's making it worse. He's gonna be the same as you as Obama, and that's unacceptable, especially since Obama had to deal with recessions, and plus he was a little bit corrupted, did these bailouts and crap. You know, not fun to have only two choices. Probably repeating here, but these tax cuts pretty much gonna add to our debt, and help class warfare. It's not for the weaker part of it, the people. It's the people who have more power that it will benefit. So this is why I don't like this guy. Alright, so the Tax Cuts, Job Act, debt is rising. So basically, no matter what you can say, the debt is rising, and it's there. So the fact is the debt is rising. It's because these two reasons mostly that I'm concerned about: tax cuts, job acts. We've seen it before. Usually we've seen it before with Bush. Tax cuts grouped in with a bunch of wars. I don't see an Iran war yet, so that's good. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is climate change. And I want to mention that the same kind of tactics where a long time ago people would say that the earth is flat, and it's not flat. It's quite obvious the earth is round. And even today there are people that believe that the earth is flat. And I don't think this is based on opinion, because we know, it's fact that the earth is round. And this is not opinion. This is fact. And you can't just say, hey, the earth is flat, that's it. No, the earth is round regardless of what you say. And that is the fact of it. And the same techniques of trying to twist climate change, saying that it's not real and such, it's like history repeating itself. Like, here's some smoker ads where people would say, hey, smoking is good for you. Look at these doctors. They're really good. They know their stuff. And they said that the smoking is really fantastic for you. There is an agenda. There's people making money off of it. It's quite obvious. Now today we know that smoking's bad. It gives you, cancer. And certain people are genetically able to survive through this smoking. But majority of other people will get cancer if they overdo it. And this has been lied to, and, well, anyway. So, climate change is real. It's not based on opinion. You have, like, many scientists backing this up. You got NASA, a couple of other departments. You got many people, scientists around the world. You have many studies. Climate change is real. Now, the people that say it's not real, it's because they have an agenda. The oil companies and other companies, they have a reason why they need to make sure that this is fake. Hey, we're gonna pretend that climate change is not real. We don't care about the overall future of of the country or the environment. We care about instant profit. And Trump, well, Trump's the villain that he is. He's trying to take out the clean water, the air protections. Um, let's see here. I'll get to the other stuff later. Let me show you this clip right now.
Right now, the temperatures are rising. The storms are getting more extreme. By the way, 78% of Americans believe that climate change is happening, including a great majority of Republicans. It isn't an issue of having to persuade more people. It's that the Republican Party is corrupt, lock, stock, and barrel, and so are their propagandists like Ben Shapiro and all their talk show hosts who get paid by those corporate interests to lie to you. We don't have to persuade more Republicans or more Americans. We just have to end the corruption.
So Trump is making sure
Pompeo and his colleagues continue to
this
take
agenda is
checks in
being
the form of
passed.
campaign donations and independent expenditures.
So Trump is trying to, well, he did leave the Paris deal. There's like 200 countries. They see it. Domestic energy production. I mean, there's a lot of stuff he's doing. I'm sure I'm just tackling a little bit of this Paris deal. I mean, it's in the on the internet. Also, I put links on below. You can read this stuff up. But I mean, he's also attacking science, discrediting the the work that these scientists found on climate change. You can see it right here, climate censorship. He's trying to like censor a little bit of what the impacts of climate change is doing. Either he's really stupid, or he's really corrupt, or he's both. I think he's really both. So this is really dangerous. So New York Times did a piece on Trump's administration, how it's attacking climate change. The Paris climate. And what else here? Half of this stuff I don't even remember. So, there's a lot of regulations being rolled back. Vehicle tailpipes and power plant smokestacks and, what else? So, this guy's doing a lot of stuff, but it's not just his change of regulations that are affecting it. Here's a few here. You can take a look at the links below. Weaken fuel economy standards, replace clean power plants, smokestacks, and crap. Open public lands and water offshore to oil and gas drilling. Not even talking about what else. Paris Climate Agreement. This is I don't know. What else we can? Let's see here. His tariffs and his attack on solar energy jobs. So there's tariffs on solar panels, and let's see here. Huge warnings. Blah blah blah. Like I said, the links will be below. I don't want to get too detailed here. I mean, it's climate change. I think for most of us, we know it's real. There's so much sites and so many scientists mentioning it. I don't want to prove something that, I don't want to say the Earth is round, because we know the Earth is round and it's not flat. So, everybody's really trying to talk less and less about climate change. President,
and it's not based on facts. It's based on, it's not data driven. We'd like to see something that is more data driven. It's based on modeling,
getting this stuff.
Which is extremely hard to do when you're talking about the climate.
So
again, our focus
they're trying
is on
to
making sure,
avoid the topics,
we have
trying to
the
pretend it's not
safest,
real.
cleanest
Listen
air
to this.
and water. The president's going to do exactly that.
So when you have something like this, when you have something where someone's lying to you, and lying is pretty bad, but you're lying to millions of people on something so serious as this, I guess there's a lot of money to be made by placing the environment and the country into hell and for our future generations. Instant money making. That's all that's thought about. And a president should never be doing something like that. They should always think long term. But this is really bad. So here, if you go to Wikipedia, environmental policies of the Trump administration, fantastic stuff. Just read through all this. This is fun. Now, you have Greta here, who I feel is like a person from the future trying to complain about the problems that we're going to cause for them. Because that's what basically is going to happen. Because in her lifetime, she's going to see all the damages.
The president continued, then go to a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. Chill, Greta, chill. Reaction wasn't chill. What kind of president bullies a teenager? Thundered Joe Biden. One cartoonist pictured them as Greta and Regretta. Thunberg herself responded by changing her Twitter bio to a teenager working on her anger management problem, currently chilling in...
I think he's fighting with her because, number one, she's on time, and he's jealous, I guess, or something. That's not important right now. But what's important is she stands for climate change, and he doesn't like that. He wants to stop that kind of thinking because he wants to make money somehow. I don't know how. He's got to be benefiting this some way because, he's just really corrupted. But anyway, benefiting it, or in my opinion, or I don't know, or maybe he's really stupid. Whatever it is, it's really bad. So, this guy is also, the White House is, Trump is raging war on science. He thinks it's a hoax. I should have got the video where he says it's a hoax. Doesn't believe in it. But I'm too lazy. So, yeah, he's... You can read this up. There's so much material out there. It's climate change. Come on, this is real. I don't even have to explain this. This is just really bad that Trump is trying to do all these things I mentioned, and he's being backed by people. Well, the Republican Party is backing a majority of it, and it's just really, really wrong. Future generations are going to suffer from this. This is really bad. This is probably the most damaging thing that we're going to see. Anyway, so freedom of the press, the First Amendment. He's always attacking. Like right over here, you can see a link here, and he's being sued by a couple of people for it. And it's kind of ironic because he coins these other news sources, and there's a lot of news sources against saying the things that he's doing wrong. And you have Fox News, majority of it is saying that he's fantastic. You got Sean Hannity joined by the hip with him. So, let's see. Here are a bunch of people suing him. links below. All right, this site, Protect Democracy. Obviously, you can see the violations of the First Amendment. Let's see here. A lot of people are just saying that, that Trump is just pretty much attacking news sources, saying fake news, enemy of the people. I didn't have time to prepare what I was about to say here, but it's pretty much constantly attacking. I mean, there's a lot of sources here that I'm grabbing. Is trying to look into, one part here is trying to look into the libel laws to see if he can somehow twist it in a way so that people that are saying facts about him, that all the crap he's doing, that his version of reality, he could combat them. But thank goodness we have a constitution, and it's not likely that this administration can do the things that he wants to do. But thank goodness we have a constitution to stop this guy. Libel, slander. He's trying to twist it in some way so it can benefit him. Even Christopher Wallace, he's saying that he sees it, and he's on Fox News. So, and let's see here. On CBS, they showed this guy.
An unrelenting daily assault on the constitutionally protected free speech was launched by the same White House, an assault that is as unprecedented as it is unwarranted. The enemy of the people was how the President of the United States called the free press in 2017. Mr. President, it is a testament to the condition of our democracy that our own president uses words infamously spoken by Joseph Stalin to describe his enemies. It's of great shame for us in this body, especially for those of us in the president's party, for they are shameful, repulsive statements. And of course, the president has it precisely backward. Despotism is the enemy of the people. The free press is the despot's enemy, which makes the free press the guardian of democracy. When a figure in power reflexively calls any press that doesn't suit him fake news, it is that person who should be the figure of suspicion, not the press. I dare say that anyone who has had the privilege and awesome responsibility to serve in this chamber knows that these reflexive slurs of fake news are dubious at best. Those of us who travel overseas, especially to war zones and other troubled areas all around the globe, encounter members of U.S.-based media who risk their lives and sometimes lose their lives reporting on the truth. To dismiss their work as fake news is an affront to their commitment and their sacrifice. According to the International Federation of Journalists, 80 journalists were killed in 2017. A new report from the Committee to Protect Journalists documents that the number of journalists imprisoned around the world has...
We're over here. There's, all his statements, constant statements to use violence against journalists. And the links will be down below, urging his supporters, this guy is, he's a villain. And let's see here. Now, let me get into net neutrality. Basically, net neutrality, and you can check this site to get a good idea of what net neutrality is. It gives an even ground for everybody to have a voice on the internet, and I think that's part of a freedom of the press in some way. And President Trump appointed this swampy person to, take over as a leader of the chairman, leadership of chairman. Yeah, I'm not saying this right, but anyway. So, Chairman of FCC, he's pretty much retracting the stuff that really supports net neutrality. Repealing it. And Trump loves it. You know, Trump is happy about it. Let's see here. He likes that stuff because that is going to help with his war against the press. And this guy is, even from day one, you can tell he's ready to knock out net neutrality. And net neutrality is very important for our future.
And then countries that kind of did what we did, which was basically allow an organized duopoly to happen. We need to take the internet out of the corporations' hands and into the hands of cities. And this movement has been building steam. I mean, Chattanooga, Tennessee did this years ago.
You can check this video out.
They have the best internet in the country at a reasonable price. They've become kind of gig city USA.
Link.
It is a worthwhile city investment. So, you know, you can kind of speak the language.
So, I'm definitely not explaining this too well, but I am putting a lot of sources down there so you can read it up and find out what I really mean. But net neutrality is definitely very important for our future. It's going to stop these guys, these corporations, from putting whatever they want. And if you don't have that kind of protection for net neutrality, then, you know, what's to say that any of these companies are going to say, hey, you know what, we don't like your political voice, we'll just like lower down your bandwidth so it becomes less accessible to others, or you even abuse it. And it says it right over here. This is really, really dangerous, and this is dangerous for our future. That's what he wants, and really need to support net neutrality. Hopefully the next president can really take care of these issues that we have. Or appealing will help. Now, Jim Acosta, you know, one of these journalists that he's been banning, recently banned Bloomberg's news and such from reporting his campaign, where he probably will say journalists are still the enemy of people, or whatever he does all the time. And the things that he says, like, hey, we should launch a state TV network so that it would support his agenda. That's ridiculous. This guy is just really a creep. One thing to note, I believe Fox News is heavily damaging to the country because of this disinformation. Plus, they're really, really buddies with Trump here right now. You can see Sean Hannity is ready to give him a good hug. I would recommend checking out Fox. It's on YouTube. It gives you a good I mean, it's obvious now. It's gotten to the point. That's why he coined the term fake news. But everybody's been already calling Fox News fake news because of all the crap that they pull out. I mean, majority of it is false information. It's unbelievable. And disinformation is one of the main things that's attacking, you know, facts and logic that's coming out. That's my dog. So, yeah, I would probably say, you know, disinformation, bad and fake journalists is another thing that's just destroying, not the First Amendment or anything, but in my opinion, it's destroying facts. This is why you hear the terms, you know, facts are not as important anymore. Alright, so next one is corruption. This guy is so corrupted, it's unbelievable. He's been corrupted in his past, and now he's being corrupted as the president. So, he's promised he was going to drain the swamp, but obviously this guy is swampy as hell. So, Trump is enriching himself, using his position to you know, profit from it. It doesn't make him a really. He's not a good president, but he is a unethical businessman, a really unethical businessman. Um, you can take a look at the Huffington Post and find out what he was. I mean, they do a good job, but I'm not focusing on his own little corruption. I'm sure he's got tons to look at on how he's making money on his presidency. Um, but we'll look at the major ones right now. The Mueller report. You know, you can check that out on the Wikipedia. Those who think the Mueller report is false information, it's not. It's not run by Democrats. There's only one Democrat on his team. That's a lie, because the guy lies a lot. And let's see here. And in his report, well, let me just, you know, check out on what he says right here.
Through 2 years of this investigation, through the indictment of 34 individuals, and then spelled out clearly in his final report, Robert Mueller made one thing crystal clear. Russia attempted to interfere with our 2016 election. Here's the last thing Mueller said.
I will close by reiterating the central allegation of our indictments, that there were multiple, systematic efforts to interfere in our election. And that allegation deserves the attention of every American.
And so that's where we will start. Volume 1 of his report. It's just over half of the total report, and it deals exclusively with what the Russians did.
Mueller lays this out like the entire report, essentially as a large outline, saying Russia attacked in 2 ways. He writes, first, that it carried out a social media campaign that favored presidential candidate Donald J. Trump. And second, a Russian intelligence service conducted computer intrusion operations against entities, employees, and volunteers working on the Clinton campaign.
Alright, this video is going to be in the link. It does a really good job on details on the Mueller report. It seems like Mueller report is true. No, I know it's true. The FBI, there's no deep state, there's no crap like that, because Trump's lying and his reputation as a truth teller is not very good. The Mueller report, you know, Mueller can't indict a sitting president. So once he's out of office, he will be indicted. And they also show that there's no proof of colluding. There's only proof of obstruction. You know, so he's obstructing, and why would you obstruct something unless you're guilty? So the crime of obstructing is really, really bad. But most likely, there's no proof of him colluding, but most likely he did collude. Because why would you obstruct something so badly? Go after Comey and all these other people. There's a reason for it. But like I said, there's no proof on that. He's just proof that the Mueller report shows what he's done so far. So with Mueller's probe, you can see a lot of people going to jail and stuff and convicted. Roger Stone, Michael, Paul, Rick, Michael, George, Alex. There's a lot of people that are criminals. But Cohen, you know, I think Michael Cohen was also briefly a Sean Hannity lawyer. So let's see here. So there's a bunch of criminals. And the swamp area that he's creating is trying to like create some sort of mafia thing going where I need loyalty. Loyalty is very important for him, and you can, you know, like I said, the links are below, but it's, you know, it's pretty crazy. The Mueller report, I think out of everything, the Mueller report is what he should have been impeached on. But hey, I don't know. Roger Stone. I wonder if he's gonna crack. Michael Cohen. I should have mentioned. I should have shown these little pictures here. It's, you know, really strange that nobody wants to be his legal, you know, lawyer. The only person he's got is Giuliani. He looks like a psycho. So we'll have lawyers leaving. There's a reason for that. The guy is so corrupted and he's so stupid that they can't do anything. They can't do anything to help. Anyway, that's weird. That's really weird, because if I was a lawyer, I would not quit on the president. That's like a prestigious job. There must be a reason for it. Alright, that's enough of this. Here's another fun fact. President Trump has a lot of lobbyists. And who better, more corrupted than a lobbyist? He's got people that are working against their positions. So, there's a nice article in Time. Draining the swamp. So, yeah. Rex. Oil. Climate change. Can understand that. Jeff Sessions. Yeah, there's John Kelly. I don't know. He was like kind of the only sane person, but yeah, you know, no corporate ties, no campaign donations, lobbying, no. John Kelly. I don't think not sure what he's done. He's put in here. Alright, so this girl. Seen her in a lot of news. Corporate ties. Holy crap. Student loans. Those people are going to have fun with this one. So yeah, this list, you can go through all this. This is fun stuff. This is a swampy list. Sean's home's a swamp. This guy has lobbyist people there. There's another article. Now let's get into Putin. You know, with the Mueller report, and then you have him being best buddies with Putin. Trying to reduce the sanctions as much as possible. Trying to get Russia into the G7. Trying to take care of Ukraine and doing extortion. You know, how he's like extorting Ukraine, and also now the impeachments, focusing on this. Because he's using it to get dirt on Biden and all that stuff. Yeah, that's bad. He should be impeached on that. But Mueller should be the main thing he should be impeached on. Not, you know, oh well, whatever. As long as he gets thrown out. I hate the guy. So Putin's getting his money worth from Trump. I mean, Trump's really doing as much as possible to help Russia. Starting to get a little lazy. There's a lot of information. I mean, he's so corrupted. It's like every day something popping up. So pretty much the impeachment process is being started from the whistleblower for his phone conversation for Ukraine, pretty much extorting him to do that and that. But Russia would benefit from them not being able to protect themselves from all the aid that they're missing out from Trump. So, hopefully he gets impeached. I mean, there's quite a bit there. So, going into the Trump-Ukraine scandal on the Wikipedia, you can take a look. This is the first whistleblower, second whistleblower. It's the fact that Ukraine still hasn't received their aid.
35 million, that's 14% of the total. Now Trump's own White House is confirming $20 million still hasn't been delivered, an admission in the footnote of a new memo from the OMB. Ukraine still hasn't gotten the aid. Now, hours after the White House admitted that, Republican lawmakers still insisting Trump did nothing wrong, falsely claiming the aid was released.
They got the money on September 11th. The aid ultimately got released.
Once 2 new anti-corruption measures were released within 2 days, so was the funding.
Right,
That's what.
So, with the Mueller report, the impeachment hearings, the lobbyists, the amount of corruption, you can see there's so much corruption, and also the other stuff that I'm mentioning. There's so much corruption here. In my opinion, it's treason, what he's done. But that's just an opinion.